Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in today's AFK journey video, I'm going to address some concerns about Crystal Clash event. Namely, whether or not you can actually get everything within the store, whether or not this event is hardcore, do you need to go and hunt for the highest Crystal Geodes to get all your resources, or whether or not you need to be spending a lot of time in this game mode. So without further ado, let's start with the store calculation first, the rewards portion. So this is something which I think a lot of people are concerned about. Can we actually get everything? Can we actually get all the important stuff? So what is the important stuff? I think it depends on how we classify it. I'll classify my important stuff as all the usable resources to power up my character. So for the hamster side, I won't consider it important because affinity is important in the sense it gives you rewards like your invite letter as well as diamonds, but it doesn't correlate to a power increase for your character. So what's important is for the stellar crystals all the way to the last temporal essence. Okay, so later on, if you guys see on top of me, there'll be some calculation with regards to the numbers. If I just put important stuff, it refers to stellar crystals all the way to temporal essence. Okay, so now let's start with the number crunching. I did some very simple math or addition and then just put it on screen for you guys. So for stellar crystals, you will need 5,530 crystals itself. For temporal essence, 4,830. Tidal essence, 4,580. Acorns is about the 3,120, and lastly for the A-level soulstone it's 3,740. So if you add all the costs for the various important resources into the list, the important stuff will cost you about 22,000 crystals for you to fully get everything. Okay, so that's for the important stuff portion. So let's say if you are prioritizing on certain stuff, if you are really limited on time and you're not gonna like get the 22,000 for example, you can probably forsake acorns. I think acorns is relatively easy to get as long as you're consistently pulling. For some people, they have an abundance of tidal essence, so you can drop tidal essence as well. Or if you feel that A-level soulstone is not that important to you, you can drop that. So you guys can calculate the numbers that you guys will need in terms of the crystals to get all the important stuff you want. So if you want to get everything for the important stuff, it's 22,000. Okay, for the bear side, it costs a total of 50,000, but generally I'll say getting the first two tiers of bears would be more than sufficient. Although these 10 bear or these 10 hamsters, they look like bears by the way, these 10 hamsters thing, they will give you quite a bit of affinity, but as you guys can see, I have quite a bit stashed up because like most of my heroes are nearing the max of their affinities or all the important ones. So I'll probably be saving this up and then using it on all the heroes that I don't use at all, or I didn't bother to train up, or maybe newer heroes in the future. So for the hamsters, it's 50,000. So if you add important stuff plus hamsters, it's 70 plus thousand. But if you omit the hamsters, it's only 20 plus thousand. So 70 plus thousand will be slightly challenging because my very first day crystal income was about 3,000 plus. So I don't think it's possible to buy out everything in this shop, specifically including all the big hamsters, the 3,000 crystals one, as well as the 6,000 crystals one. But maybe in a few days, they will increase the total geode rewards, and then it will be possible, or it will be much easier. So I'll showcase my current income right now, and then I'm going to crunch the numbers for you guys, how much you guys actually need to play, what are the different things that you might want to know with regards to the rewards, or even some nitty-gritty tips and tricks to help you have an easier time for attacking tougher geodes itself. So for me, yesterday my defending geode income was about 1.2 because I went for the L1, and then my plundering was around 2.2. So for me on a daily basis is about 3,000 plus. So 3,000 plus crystals will be about 7 to 8 days before I can get all the important stuff. So if you're able to get this amount of geode resources on a daily basis, if you're able to defend right upwards to 1,300 plus, it will probably cost you about 5 to 6 days to get all the important stuff in the shop. Not calculating in the future if they include bigger geodes, or if they increase the plundering limits that we can get. So there is a possibility, but I'm just going to use these numbers for calculation. So if I'm using my own, it will cost me about 6 to 7 to 8 days to max out everything. Okay, so that's for myself. For, I'll say, the average people, let's just say if you are slightly weaker and you are not gonna get like as much resources as me or as much crystals as me on a daily basis, let's put it as a defending estimate of 1.1k or even 1k itself, because if I remember correctly, the lowest geode is about 1.1k. so if you can't defend the XL one, you just go for the smallest one so that people won't waste their attacks on you unless they really hate you. So when we are doing plundering, like, we won't purposely go and plunder the smaller geodes, because the smaller geodes generally gives less U for the attacker, so we want as much crystals as possible. So either the L1 or the XL1. So let's say if you're slightly weaker, I'll suggest you defend the small one, or maybe just a L1, so that you're not so eye-catching to other stronger players, or people won't go and target you to get your maximum geodes itself. Okay, so that's for the defending side. Okay, so we just estimate it as at around 1,000 on a daily basis. So this event is 10 days, so just from defending you are getting 10,000, right? From the attacking side, the plunder range is quite big, so I think the max you can get is 768, as you guys can see over here. So usually I'll say if you can hit like the 400 crystals, the larger ones, 390, 380, it should be around 690 to 700 plus crystals on its own. So from that, let's say if you are pretty stronger than me or as strong as me, then your daily income just hitting all the 400 plus geodes will be around 2,000 plus. So if you add this together with the defending side, it's easy 30 plus thousand crystals. So you will have a huge surplus for the shops for all the important stuff. So you can buy all the important stuff plus this hamster and maybe a few of these hamsters. So that is based on my current income. Okay, if you are slightly weaker, let's say if your plundering is not as strong, I would say if you're attacking a smaller crystal like the L1, or even like the lesser ones like 200 plus 300, you should still be able to secure like I'll say 500 on average. So I don't have the rough estimate as in who is hitting how much, but this plunder record will record your highest earnings on a daily basis or highest geodes earning like per attack that you did. So I would say getting 500 per run or 500 of these 3 attempts is not that hard, even if you are slightly weaker, because there is going to be some geodes that are AI controlled, so the defenses are going to be weaker and it should be easier to break. So I'll use 1,500 as an estimate. So 1,500, right, plus maybe 1,000 the lower end side, that is still 25,000. So it is still quite an easy clear within the whole event duration. So for the plundering side, right, some people might be wondering like, yeah, Zeep, you're hardcore, obviously you're going to find all the 400 plus crystals. The largest size crystal on the map you can find from my experience is 4,700. So like you guys can see, there's a bunch of 300 plus over here. So let's say even if you go after the 300 plus, if you multiply these rewards by 1.6 times, that is still 500 plus, right? So that is if you're casual. And then considering the fact, let's say I'm just going to go to this 340 to just do the math for you guys. So let's say I hit this guy, for example, I'm going to use my attempt, right? So this guy, outer defense is none. I'll be able to get 480 because this is just me attacking all the outer geodes. And if I get 1.6 times the earning, I'm going to plunder it because I'm already done with the resources. So let's say if I hit him, right, I think there's a little bit of bug, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 plus this, and then I multiply my earning by 1.6 times. That is still 500 plus to 600. So this is not hitting like the toughest geodes, right? Sometimes some of these XL geodes can be quite manageable. So that is, I'll say, based on your own account strength. If you're really strong, obviously just try to tackle all the XL ones because you get more nodes to hit, so your crystal income is higher, right? If you're slightly weaker, just go for the L ones. You have lesser nodes to hit and it's easier to get your 1.6 times. So generally, I think this event to max out all the important stuff is generally manageable. And at the same time, for the friend invite stuff, in case you guys do not know, you can actually invite other players from other servers. For example, right now I have this player that's really strong, right? This guy is from PTR 5. So I'm in PTR 2 for myself. So you can actually cross invite people from different districts to help you in battle. So let's say if you have a friend within the same district but different server, you can invite him to hit the toughest geodes, but you still need to be able to tackle the very last line of defense to be able to get the highest rewards, because if you hit the first few, as you guys can see, it's 10 10 10 10 10 10, right? The very last one will yield the highest reward. So if let's say you want to attack somebody who's like 400 plus crystals but really strong, you yourself must be able to tackle the last line of defense. So that's what I'm trying to say in terms of maximizing your reward. So there is probably going to be some challenge if you want to find like the max rewards geode and find somebody that is of similar strengths or maybe weaker than you, so you can clear it. But generally, if you are pretty casual, just log in, just find 300 plus geodes, attack it, and you will still be able to get everything. So that's what I'm trying to say in terms of how to attack the geode. So now let's say if I invite my friend over, right? So I have another friend over here, then there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so there's 7 different nodes. Within each of these nodes, what you want to do, right, as always, is to try to split up your power so that you use all unique heroes. So all the unique heroes will be marked by the star icon here. So there's no defense here. I'm just going to put in 5 random units, right? Start the battle, and then it will record as 5 different units. So what you want to do is let your guildmates know to use different units as well. So it calculates all the different units used in one battle. So let's say if I use 5 here, I use 5 here, it's also shown as 10 on my friend's side. So what you want your friends to do is to also use unique heroes. So do communicate it if it's somebody who is you're not very familiar with, like it's just a guildmate or something, just let them know, okay, try to use different units, right? So right here, I'm just gonna use it 5. So done. So that's 10 for me. So that's how you accumulate the bonus, right? Use the weaker heroes if there's very weak defense, and then save your strongest one for the final crystal itself. So right here, we are close to the first tier. So 2 nodes, that's 10. Then 3 nodes, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay, so 35 will be enough to get the max one. This is on the solo side of defense. When you're doing a party raid or party attack, there could be more nodes, or if you're attacking a larger node, there will be more nodes for you to attack, and then you will require more different units over here. But let's say if you're attacking with somebody, right, if the guy is using, like for example, a Cecia, right, and you're using a Cecia, it's still considered unique units. Okay, so having somebody to attack the node with you generally is the wiser choice if you can find anybody that is. And you probably want somebody that is close to the same power level as you, or somebody who can actually finish off the final nodes. Because for the final nodes itself, like I mentioned earlier, if you can clear the final node but your partner cannot clear the final node, you won't be able to get the reward. You will be stuck in this, and you will actually have to give up this run itself. So that's for the maximizing of your rewards in terms of getting other people to help. Okay, so hopefully all these mini tips and tricks is helpful. In terms of the defending side, I don't have much advice, because basically just defend the geodes based on your abilities. If you're able to defend the XL one, go ahead, right? But just know that the XL geodes, if people find it, people will attack it. So you might receive less, because on the opponent side, they will be able to receive more, as you guys can see over here. Okay, so that's it for this video. Hopefully this video addressed all the concerns that you guys had. Generally, I think whatever needs to be covered for this game mode has been covered in the very first guide, as well as this concerns video. I don't think there's any like particular strategy in terms of defending or like what teams you might want to use, although there's actually one strat where there is some node power-ups in some of these defenses. So there's this node that gives 1300% HP, a bunch of attack and damage boosts. So people use like Thermasia or Torrent for those nodes, because those units are super duper tanky, and then their damage just basically kill your enemies really fast, so they can't break their defense. So that's something that's interesting. There's also some power-up nodes which are like your Rook and your Archer nodes together. Then there's actually another strategy where you use Iron together with Ardent in those. So your Ardent teleports to the guy, and then your Ardent will start attacking them really fast to charge up his skills and stuff. So those are some interesting finds that I had. If you guys have other very interesting strategies for this game mode, do let me know. I do see this kind of format being replicated for future events, because it is fun from a perspective of strategizing. It is also fun from the perspective of having the option to play with other people. So I do hope to see more. Let me know down in the comment section below how you guys feel about these events so far. Personally, I'll say it's not super hardcore. If you just want to get all the necessary rewards, just do whatever you need to do on a daily basis, and you would be able to get all the juicy stuff over here. So that's it. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.